Hello and welcome. We are now going to talk about Google Admin Console. Google Admin Console enables you to manage all the users that you have in your domain, create new users, give them permissions, and manage the different services that they can access. So let us use this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the admin interface. To open the admin interface, you simply have to go to admin.google.com and log in with your administrator email account. This will bring you to this admin interface. Now let us talk about the different tabs in the admin interface. These are the tabs. There are even more controls. If clicking here on more controls will also show you other controls that are available. Clicking on the three dots here will also allow you to access the same tabs from the left side. So starting with the most important things, how to add, create or manage users. So as you can see here, this is the list of the users. You can see when they last logged in, what is currently the email usage. Here you see the three dots, which you can use to reset a password, rename a user, delete a user, suspend a user, or email user. So reset password, you cannot recover any password for any user. The only way if a person loses his password or forgets his password is to reset the password for that particular user. So let me just open another account where we can show you how to do that. Yeah, so I have an account here, and if I want to reset the password, I can simply click on reset, and I can also auto-generate a password and email it to them. For the moment, I have typed in the desired password, and if you want, you can click this, and the user will have to change. In case you set up a temporary password like 12345 or something, then you can force the user to change the password as soon as he logs in with this temporary password. Now I click on reset, and the password for the user is reset. Similarly, in case you wish to delete a user or rename a user, you can click on rename and simply change whatever you wish to change, the email address itself or the first name and last name of the person. So do bear in mind that once you rename, then the email address will be changed, and any emails addressed to the earlier address will not be coming to the new address. So right now I'll cancel it. You can, if a user leaves the organization and you want to disable his account, then you have an option to suspend the user. So what happens is that the user is no longer able to log into the account. You can change the password and reactivate later on so that you can access the data given inside the account. Okay, this helps you in case anyone decides to abruptly leave the company, or in case laptop or desktop is compromised and you are afraid that someone else may log into it. So you can suspend this user and it can be reactivated anytime. So this is the safest option. Before deleting, you should always use this option instead of deleting the user straight away, because once you delete, the data may be gone. So now if you look at this account here, so here this is the list for active users. So if you want to see the suspended users, you can click on this, and let me just reload this. So these are the filters. Now here currently we have all the active users, and let me just search. Yeah. So here we have this user. This has now been suspended. That is why we are not able to see it in the active users. And these are the different options that are coming when you click on a user. You can reset a password. You can move them to another organization. You can add the user to a group. We'll talk about groups later. And you can click on restore. So restoring the user will reactivate the user, and now we can see the user in the group. Yeah. So clicking on the user, you will see different settings. So reset password, move to another organization, add user to a group. Clicking on accounts. So you can require the user to change the password at next sign in case you feel that he is not using a good enough password, or in case you have assigned a temporary password. Another very important setting is alias. So you can, for example, my name is Sanjeev Jain, so I can have an alias called SJ at tnskill.in. So the same account will have multiple names. So any email addressed to sj at tnskill.in will also be received in this account. For example, we have this account called OEM rep. So we can create an alias called OR at tnskill.in, and we can simply click save. So any email attached to OR will also go to this account. So in effect, if you have accounts like marketing, Delhi, which are actually not real users but have anyway to be assigned to some real user, you can define alias and click on save, and you can see this alias is defined. So you can define up to 30 aliases for a user. You can add new aliases here, and you can have more aliases, as many as you want. This comes in handy when doing a marketing campaign or having addresses like help desk, support, which are actually addressed to a particular person. So further, if you go further, click here, and you can see the number of apps that are enabled for this account. You can see if a user is part of a group, you can add the user to more groups. We'll talk about that later. And by clicking show more, these are more options. So here you can define privileges given to the person, security. So in security, as of now, you can see that the user has not enabled two-factor authentication. That can only be done by the user from his or her account. And furthermore, you can see that this user has not, as of now, not accessed any of the services to the Google account. And when Google detects any suspicious login into the user account, they can ask them to verify their identity. So by clicking on this, you can disable this kind of a detection for 10 minutes. You can assign management roles to users or IT people in your company. You can make them a super admin, group admin, or user admin, help desk admin, or services admin. So most likely you would like to make people user admin or even up to group admin, so that they can create groups or users on your behalf, so they don't have to manage this on your own. And you can see these are the other basic settings. So they are not of much use and are not part of this discussion. So going back to home, now let us talk about some other basic things. Another important aspect here is to be able to create groups. So many times, for example, in our company, we have a group called marketing. So it contains all the salespeople. So these are the basic settings here. You can delete the group, you can add more users, you can change the group info. So clicking on this, you can see which are the users that are part of this. So these are the users that are part of the sales team. And you can simply type more email addresses. For example, I can try, we can add as a member. So you can also add as a member or a owner. So these are private groups that can be very useful to you for communicating. So you only have to send email to mkt@tnsskill.in instead of sending email to all these people you see here. To delete any member, you can simply select here. You can click remove members. These are more actions: set role to owner, set role to member. So I can click on remove member, and I just removed. So only the owners or the members are able to send posts to the groups. Okay, so you can set them as one of the two, either as owner or as member. You can also create a group called a group that can contain all the users in your organization. For example, we have this group called team. So this contains all the users in our company. So you can see here, it has all the users within tnsskill.in. So this can be used as an announcement board. So any mails to be sent to everyone in the company, like related to holidays, celebrations, or important notification from HR, can be sent to team@tnsskill.in. But mind you, this can only be sent by users within the group and cannot be misused by people outside the company. So this is about groups. So groups come in handy whenever communicating with certain sets of people. They can be made department-wise or project-wise, so any way you prefer. Now coming to certain other important settings is reports. Reports give you a snapshot of the activity that is happening in your account. So you have, like, I have 199 users. Of that, 56 are suspended, 143 are active. By clicking this, we can open the list of, we can see the details that which are the users that are suspended, and you can further click on them and you can make them, reactivate them. So it is an easy way. Now coming back to reports, so feel free to browse through this, but I will take you through some very important reports. One very important report, it relates to admin. It shows you all the activity that was done by either you or someone you have authorized in your account. For example, you can see that I suspended the user, I activated the user, I did a password change. So similarly, I can see, like, for example, we see here that suspicious login status has been changed. I have deleted a user called Ritesh. Similarly, you can see that password was changed for Parvinder, for Kuldeep, for Manish. So it gives you a history uh, as to what was done, and you can see it's almost 6 months of history. You can see from April, from 24th of October up to April, so almost like 6 months of history is saved in this report. So this can be important for you to verify in case something happens. By clicking on login, you can see the status about the user, from which account he logged in, when did he logged in. So this report can also come in handy if you want to see the activity of a certain user and you suspect something wrong or someone else having played with your account. So this report will come in handy. So this is at reports and login. So, and also gives you the IP address. So in case some unauthorized person has logged in, or for example, you can see here that Munna Sahu failed to log in, invalid password. So this can also be maybe someone else trying to hack into his account. So you can ask the person to change the password. So this can be quite useful And again, I think that it will go back and can show you quite a bit of history in this report. And you can even download, export this to Google Sheets or download as a CSV file. So you can export this. You can, yeah, this is going to load. It will take a while to generate this report. So you can, yeah. So by clicking on open, it will open this report in Drive. So you just give it a minute while it's opening. And again, these are some other basic settings that you can access. So going back to reports, so you can just feel free to browse through and see what are the different kind of reports and which ones may be more useful to you. So now going back to home, okay, there seems to be some issue. Let me try and reopen this. So now coming to the company profile. The company profile page allows you to change the way, this is the primary administrator account. This is owned by me. So here we have defined a secondary address. You can also provide some kind of contact information. You can set the time zone and whether you want any new features to be immediately released or new products to be automatically be available to users. So this is about that. Then I'll just save this. And these are other communication preferences, what kind of emails you'd like to receive. This is for the administrator regarding the performance suggestions, feature announcements, offers, feedback and testing. You can also personalize your account. You can upload your company's own logo. So all the users will be able to see TNS logo instead of Google logo. So this is how you can see that your Google for Works account will look different. You see the logo here. And you can also define custom URLs. So you'll have to take a bit of help from your programmer or the web host or web development person. So you can actually have people access email easily from email.tnsfield.in going to mail.google.com. So similarly, it can be drive.tnspl.in. It can be calendar.tnsfield.in, and you can have. So for this, doing this, you'll have to create a CNAME record in your domain host for activating this service. So this is how the Google is giving the instructions. So this needs to be done, and CNAME has to be pointed to this particular address. So there are more settings here. Now going back, then there are settings related to security. You can enforce what is the minimum password strength. You can also allow users to turn on two-step verification. If you don't want users to turn on the two-step verification on their own, you can disable this option. You can monitor the password strength for different users. So if anyone is not using a good password, so you can see, you can ask them to change their, ask them to change their password. So like I can click on and by clicking on security. Okay, not about security, but more I think about the. Okay, let us go back. Uh, so you can ask the user by email to change request to change his password. So this is can be helpful for you to see. And the ones that you see here, these ones are suspended. The ones where you do not see anything, these are the accounts that have been suspended. Then these are other more advanced settings. I would not recommend that you really touch them unless and until you are an expert. So billing will again take you to the billing preferences. If your account is managed by a company like ours, then you really wouldn't have to bother with this. So you can see the subscriptions that are currently being operated. So that's all. And so not much here, not much to do here. Then more settings are available if you wish to implement device management. If you're using Google Chrome devices or Android devices and you want to manage them centrally from your company, then migrations is available in case you wish to migrate data from some other platform like Microsoft Exchange Server. So you can use this tab and you can, the settings should only be used by people who are confident and authorized, trained on doing the migration. So I wouldn't recommend you fiddling with these settings. And then you have more controls like okay, groups, domains. You can even have more multiple domains in the same account. So if you have 2, 3 companies, so their domain names can also be configured in the same account. And then you can define admin roles. You can create groups of admins, and you can have user management admins. So this is helpful in case you are a large company and you have multiple people looking after groups of people. So that's more or less about the basic interface that can be used to manage the users in your company. Thank you so much for watching.